Hello, I'm the developer of Horror Engine. In this video, I'll show you how to create a new project with Horror Engine. To start, open the Epic Games Launcher. Then, navigate to the Library tab and search for Horror Engine. If it's already in your library, you'll find it here. If not, head to the Marketplace tab and search for Horror Engine there. Once you locate it, if it's not in your library, you'll see a free button. Click it to add Horror Engine to your library. Then, select Create Project to add it to the My Projects section. I'll create the project by searching it through my vault. During the project creation process, you'll need to specify where you want to create the project and its name. You can name it whatever you want, or leave it as Horror Engine for now. But remember, project names shouldn't contain spaces. Also choose the Unreal Engine version you want to use. Horror Engine is compatible with version 4.27 and later. Note that you can't downgrade from the initial version selected for the project. Once the necessary files are downloaded, the Horror Engine project will be created. You can find its location under the Unreal Projects folder. You'll also see the file path here. Since the Horror Engine is a complete project, the config folder is crucial. If you're not an advanced Unreal Engine developer or don't fully understand Horror Engine's mechanics, it's best to leave this folder untouched for now. The Movies folder contains the videos used in the project. Other essential files such as audios, blueprints, maps, materials, and meshes can be found here. To open the project, you can simply double-click this file or use the Epic Games Launcher. And that's it. You can add various assets from the Unreal Marketplace, such as environments, props, materials, and audio, to your Horror Engine project. However, as I mentioned before, the Horror Engine is a complete project with its own extensive and complex ecosystem. Therefore, unless you're an experienced developer, I advise against attempting to integrate it with another Blueprint project at this time. Now, let's explore the project settings and familiarize ourselves with the frequently used basic assets. By the way, I still prefer using the Unreal Engine in the Unreal Engine 4 Classic layout. If the interface seems different to you and causes confusion, head to Load Layout under the Window tab and select Unreal Engine 4 Classic Layout. Let's navigate from the Edit tab to the Project Settings section. You can personalize the Description section according to your preferences. This area allows you to edit information such as project name, project version, company name, homepage, and support contact. The project display title determines the name that appears in the window title bar upon launching the game. The Maps and Up Modes section is crucial. The Horror Engine defaults to the Horror Engine game mode, so it's crucial not to change this setting. It also utilizes the Horror Engine game instance as the game instance class, which should remain unchanged. The editor startup map is responsible for the map that loads automatically when you launch the editor. Similarly, the game default map sets the map that automatically loads upon opening the game. Here, by default, the intro level, which displays the introduction logos I've prepared, is selected. The intro level is set to automatically transition to the menu level where the main menu is located after showing the logos. The collision section is crucial. In the Horror Engine, the object type for everything the player can interact with is set as usable. It's crucial not to alter or delete this setting. Avoid modifying action or axis mappings from the Input section. The Horror Engine has its dedicated input settings in a different location. Changes made here will be overridden by the Horror Engine's default settings. I'll guide you on how to modify the default settings and where to do so later on. The physics section is important. Under physical surfaces, 7 surface types are present: carpet, dirt, grass, metal, rock, tile, and wood. These determine the surfaces the player walks on and the corresponding footstep sounds. All of these necessary settings for the Horror Engine to function are stored in the config folder mentioned earlier. Therefore, when attempting to merge the Horror Engine with a different complete project as a beginner, the config files from both projects might overlap, resulting in improper functioning of your project. Let's examine the content we will use most often. Within the Horror Engine folder, there are 3 structures: gameplay settings, input settings, and video settings. The default game settings are configured by editing these files. In the Blueprints folder, there is a save game actor. When placed in the scene, it allows the player to interact with it and save the game. I placed it in this folder for quick access. The rest of the interactable objects during the game are located within the Usable Assets folder. The Controllers folder contains button, lever, valve, fake book, fake painting, and fake wall torch blueprints. These controllers trigger a specified event or mechanism when interacted with during the game. The Doors and Furnitures folder contains blueprints such as cabinet, door, drawer, ladder, sliding door, which are interactable during gameplay. The Electronics folder includes various electronic objects such as radio, television, VHS set, alarm system, and more. The Inventory folder contains objects that the player can pick up, examine, and add to their inventory during the game. The Lights folder contains lighting objects that illuminate your scene and can be interacted with during the game. The Physics Objects folder contains items that you can pick up, throw, or place during the game. The Portal and Triggers folder, as the name suggests, contains portal and triggers. The portal beams the player to a predetermined location upon contact. The Damage trigger inflicts damage upon contact with the player, resulting in a decrease in their health. The Look trigger triggers a specified event when the player looks or focuses on it. The Overlap trigger initiates a specific event when the player overlaps with it during the game. Upon taking a photo of the area where the photo trigger is placed, it triggers a specific event. The Put trigger triggers a specific event when a particular object is placed within the area where it's situated. The Puzzle Maker keeps track of specific conditions triggering itself, allowing the triggering of another event when it reaches the specified count. It's a helpful tool when designing complex events that require specific conditions to be met. The Shoot trigger triggers a specific event when the player shoots onto it. Beyond all, Horror Engine's biggest weapon is Horror Events system. Horror events are inherently embedded in all interactable objects, enabling the triggering of any event under any condition. You can design chaining events on the viewport without the need to edit any blueprints, pushing the limits of your imagination, such as dimming a light when touching an object, revealing an item when opening a door, or teleporting to another location when looking at a specific point. This system empowers users to actualize a wide array of creative scenarios effortlessly. In this first video of the Horror Engine tutorial series, I've tried to provide the most helpful start possible. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.